Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ride 2 here on this channel. I'm KPG-GOONER here, and in today's episode guys we've got a new update to have a look at, 1.05, which was released today, plus a new bikes pack, the Rising Sun bikes pack. So we're going to be having a look at the bikes on that pack and maybe trying one of those bikes out in today's episode. And I just want to say a massive congratulations to Milestone on this update, because they've been listening to all the feedback they've been getting about all the things that people feel that need to be changed and improved on the game. And one of the things that they've decided to do, now they've added, and this is the first time for a game like this, they've added an anti-cheating system. Now this is something that they haven't done on the previous games. I've listened to all the feedback, and they will be soon wiping all the leaderboards to set a clean slate. So they're going to update all the issues that people have been complaining about, and they've taken everyone's input and they've tried to improve the game. Now this will this anti-cheating will measure that is basically for lap times, time trials, stuff like that. And it's going to be things like running off the track surfaces like grass, gravel, up to a certain distance. Obviously it's going to be an invalid lap. Hitting barriers, other AI, falling off, all these sort of things you're going to be penalised for. Now it might be frustrating in just normal races. If you're not bothered about lap times, it's not going to be a big issue. But for those that do a lot of time trials, all the weekly challenges, stuff like that, I think it was needed. So that's an absolutely brilliant thing they've added to the game. There's loads more on this update. Like I said, look in the description below. But we're going to be jumping into the Rising Sun bikes pack, having a look at that, guys. Testing out one of the bikes. So there's going to be quite a few videos coming out on this over the next couple of weeks. There's so much going on at the channel. I'm absolutely jam-packed with loads of things to do, which I absolutely love. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and comment in the tab below. Right, let's get into this new pack. Right guys, this is the first bike of the Rising Sun bike pack, and this thing looks absolutely awesome. It's a Yamaha MT10 ABS 2016. Now this thing looks like it's going to be quite powerful. It's going to be one of those bikes that's really good fun to ride, and it looks like a bit of a transformer from the front. I do like the styling of the headlights. Right guys, let's jump into the next bike in this pack, and I'll tell you what, there's some good ones in this pack, so let's get straight into it. Right guys, the next awesome bike in this pack is the Honda RC213 VS 2015. Now this thing looks absolutely amazing. I do like the styling of the mirrors, although I do generally take off the mirrors when I use the bikes, but I might leave them on just to see what it's like. But I bet you this thing is going to handle like a dream. I cannot wait to try this one out, and it looks like an awesome addition to this pack. But it's like I said guys, there's quite a few on this pack you're going to enjoy, and this is probably going to be top of the list. Right guys, let's get straight into the next bike in this pack. Right guys, this is one of two Kawasaki's that they've got on this pack, and this is one from 1996. It's a ZX7 RR. It looks absolutely brilliant. Now this bike's going to weigh quite a bit, so I'm not sure whether it's going to have great handling, but I like the fact that they are going back and adding some of the older bikes as well, because they're always good to try out. Not sure whether this is going to be one of the best out of the lot, but it's definitely worth trying out. Let's get straight into the next bike guys, so here we go. Right guys, next up on the list is another Kawasaki, and it's the Kawasaki W800 Black Edition from 2015. This is a retro style bike. I'm not sure whether you're into sort of retro style bikes, but this thing looks pretty half decent. Hopefully it'll be a good fun to drive in some of those races that have got these bikes. Right, let's get into the next one, so here we go. Right guys, next up in this pack is a Yamaha YZF R7 1998. Now I've actually not ever seen one of these bikes. There might be loads of people that have got them, but I've never seen one. You see R6s, R1s from this era, but I've never ever seen an R7. Now I've seen them in magazines, on the TV, but not in real life, so I don't think there was ever many of them around. I'm not sure how good they are, so it's good that they've added this to the game. It gives you a chance to see what the handling's like compared to the other bikes in this category. So yes, that's another awesome bike to the pack. So let's get straight into the next one guys, so here we go. And the next bike, guys, is the Suzuki GSXR1000 1 Million Edition 2014. Now, this bike looks stunning, guys. Now, I haven't ever seen one of these either. It definitely has some decent stats about it as well. So this one's definitely going to be on the list to try out. We might even try this one out in today's episode, actually. I think this one might be a good one to try out first. But guys, this is an awesome pack. I know it costs a bit of money to have the season pass, but having all these new bikes is definitely worth it. Right, let's get into trying this one out, I think. So here we go. Right guys, so we've maxed it out now. So the acceleration is 9.5, braking power 8.6, top speed is 9.9, and handling is 8.5. So that's fully maxed out. It's at 920 performance points, so it's not going to be the highest in this category, but they're pretty decent stats. So let's get straight into a race and see if it's any good. Right guys, so we're going to do a race around Imola. We're going to do 4 laps, and we're not got the highest performance points bike in the race, but hopefully we can compete. I think the Ducati is going to be probably the hardest ones to compete against, but let's see what it's like. Right guys, here we go with the race on this bike. We're on the factory settings. We haven't adjusted anything. We're just going to see how it handles, and then we'll do a rating on it at the end of the video. Also, it'll be good to see what the cheating systems like, whether it's really sensitive, whether you make contact with another bike, slightly go on the curb, off the track, stuff like that. So we have to watch out for that. That's not bad through there. Oh, it feels pretty smooth into the corners. It's dropping in nicely into those corners, and I'm not sure whether we're going to be the quickest out of the bikes in this race, and it's bobbed up slightly, but like I said, I haven't made any adjustments, so just going to have to try and adjust myself to the handling of the bike. Let's try and get a nice run into this corner. Let's try and go up the inside. Oh, it drops into the corners nicely, even on the factory settings. That's awesome. Now let's just slowly open the throttle so it doesn't bob up. The wheels do go up quite a lot on these bikes. They possess so much power. I mean, this bike fully maxed out. It's got nearly 230 brake horsepower, and again the suspension bobbed up there. There's something you might have to adjust. Definitely a problem on the factory settings. Right, try and slow it down. The brakes feel pretty damn good as well. Let's try and get a nice drop into those corners and try and accelerate. So let's try and get past this bike here. Try and not to make any contacts because of the anti-cheating system. I think what happens if you make any contact off the track and stuff like that, you get an invalid time. Now, it's not going to cost you the race, but if you're doing a time trial, stuff like that, if you do these things, then you're not going to get that lap time set. So that's not what you're going to get. So you've got to be aware of that. So you're going to have to improve your racing style, guys. Like I said, it's not going to affect you in the races if you're not bothered about lap times. But if you are in time trials, they're not obviously like the weekly challenges, you're going to have to clean up your racing. You can't go slightly off the track, too much onto the curbs, or make any contact with any other riders if you're racing against other people. Right, let's slow it down, and the brakes feel pretty damn good. It slows the bike down nicely. I don't think it's although it's got 9.9 top end, I don't think it's anywhere near as quick as the Ducati. I'm struggling to keep up with the Ducati. Let's slow it down again. The suspension's slightly kicking up at the back there. It definitely needs an adjustment, but it's okay. I'm managing to go with it. Right, let's dive it in. Let's just try and get a nice line up the hill. Try and slowly open the throttle so it doesn't go up too much at the front, and slow it down. Watch that back end. Yeah, the back end goes up slightly. Trying to just even out the brake in there. Just had to adjust myself, but I'm holding P2, which is great. We've got another couple of laps after this one, so we've got plenty of time to get past this Ducati. Let's slow it down into this, try not to make any contact. Oh, there you go, guys, made a slight bit of contact, and it come up with invalid record. So there you go. Even with the slightest contact, you're gonna get that invalid record. So definitely gonna. Oh, and again, it touched my back wheel. So it's very, very sensitive, guys. But it's not gonna bother me too much unless I'm doing a time trial or I'm really looking for those lap times. I'm not gonna let it bother me. I think it's a great addition on the update, especially if you're really into getting those top lap times and get them up on the leaderboards. So I know a lot of you do like those sort of things, so it's a brilliant thing added to the game, and I think they need to add it to more games. I know a lot of games do have some sort of like cooldowns and stuff like that if you make contact in racing games. Sometimes they can be a little bit frustrating, but I think you need it, especially if you do a lot of online racing. Oh god, I have to be careful through there. Felt the back end pulled round. That Ducati is still pretty close behind me, but this bike so far is feeling pretty damn decent. But I will do an overall summary on it after the race. I'm definitely going to start doing that, so I can give you my opinion and give you a rating out of 10, what I think this is bike in, how good it is. But I'm going to base it on mainly the factory settings. I mean, obviously if you adjust this bike you could probably make it a lot better, but I'm just going to base it on first experience and just give you a rough idea how good I think it is. Right, again, the suspension at the back there is a little bit of an issue. It's bobbing around, and try not to over brake at the front so it doesn't obviously go down and start bobbing up at the back, but it's still a little bit of an issue. But as long as you're not overdoing it into the corners, I'm not going to slide out, and that's not bad through there. Slow it down again. That back end's just bobbing up slightly, although I'm not braking too heavy on the front there, but it's nice and smooth into the corners. It's definitely got 8.5 is not the highest handling out of the bikes in this category. I mean, I think like the Aprilia's got like 9.2, 9.3, so this is slightly under that, and this does feel pretty damn decent. So I think with these some of these bikes, I'm always looking for the overall package. I know some people think, oh, I'll go for the fastest or the best handling, but you want one that's pretty good on all the areas really in races, and this one definitely think offers that. So let's see if we can finish this race, and we just put in a decent lap time. Not the quickest round here out of the bikes that I've ridden in this category, but we're doing enough to win the race. We're managing to hold off those Ducatis because I can hear them catching up through there. Slow down a little bit too much through there, just trying to keep it nice and tidy. Let's see if we can put in a lap without it slightly going off and getting that invalid time. Just try and keep it nice and smooth. And again, that's all okay. Trying to accelerate, quite heavy, but not too much so the front wheel goes flying up. Now I think I think anti-wheelie was on low, so I think we could have maybe ridden this without anti-wheelie. But it doesn't feel too bad. I mean, some of them are like, especially the Ducati, is absolutely ridiculous to keep that front wheel down. But that's got slightly quicker acceleration, a little bit more power as well, I think as well, and that's why it's probably a little bit more harder to handle at the lower speeds. And that was pretty damn smooth through there. Not the fastest lap. Slightly behind our fastest time, but we're doing okay. Let's try and get a nice smooth line into there. Oh, it definitely stops and turns really well on the factory settings. I'm really surprised on that. Also guys, do not forget to check out in the description below not just the info for the update 1.50, but for all the new premium packs that are coming in the new year and the free packs. I've got all the dates in the description, so check that out. There's loads more coming from this game, which is just awesome. This game just keeps on improving. It was my favourite game of 2016 and I'm still loving it now guys. It keeps on getting better. They keep on adding more bikes for us to enjoy, not just new bikes but the old bikes as well. Keep it coming, Milestone. You're doing an awesome job, and this is definitely one of the best motorbike games out there, and probably one of the best I've ever played. So right, we're just going to go and do a overall summary of what I think this bike is like on the factory settings. And it held its own in that category, considering it wasn't the highest performance points bike, fully upgraded. It felt pretty decent. Now, it wasn't the fastest lap time I've ever done around that circuit, but for first experience, it wasn't that bad. So we're just going to do a brief summary just through the different things on the bike and just give it an overall rating. So we're going to get straight into that now, guys. Here I go. So here we go. Right guys, I'm just going to give you a brief summary. Now I think this bike is not going to be the quickest accelerating bike. Although it had a 9.9 top end, it's not going to compete against the Honda Repsol Fireblade or the Ducati. I don't think it had that sort of top end speed. But the handling for 8.5 was pretty damn decent. The braking felt pretty solid. The handling was okay. I had a few issues with the suspension, but I think that's just down to a setup. So I'm going to give this bike an 8 out of 10. Definitely worth trying out, guys. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a good bike to have in your garage. So just go and try it, guys. I'm sure you're going to love it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.